we are. Still 2 minutes left, though.
Yeah, no, those 2 minutes, they can suck my cock.
I know, right? Who do they think they are anyway? Just 2 fucking minutes. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. Fuck all 59 of them. And the 16-minute too. Hate that guy.
Yes.
Like, do you even exist?
Exactly.
16 minutes. I've never seen 2:60 a.m. So yeah.
Alrighty. If you're listening on Celestia Radio, this is Ponify.me. I'm your host, the man they call Toast, PonyToast. I'm here with Haiku, r34 artist Haiku.
Hello.
If you're listening in right now, then just to let you know that this broadcast is probably not going to be very safe for work. Of course, if you're listening to Celestia Radio at work, like seriously, you'd like rock. In any case, this is Haiku. How are you doing today, Haiku?
Pretty good. Okay, let me see if I get this right. So I'm gonna talk into this thing right here, this microphone thing, and like everyone else is gonna hear from their other things where sound comes from.
Yeah.
Wow, technology these days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me. I mean, you might have heard about me if you have no taste and you go into that sort of website and. Yeah.
For those of you who have not visited this wonderful website, it is Haiku. Just had it in mind.
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare to pronounce. Like, and I should probably write a post about how to pronounce this correctly. That's assuming I can pronounce it correctly, but. Yeah, it's better if I did.
There's the link right there for all of you who are listening in the chat. If you all can hear me in chat, I want to make sure that you all can hear me and that this is being broadcast properly. I'm going to drop my nickname
Up here.
So it's live.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a lot longer than I normally do. Here we go. Whew. All right. Wonderful. And this is PonyToast live here on Celestia Radio.
Good. So.
And I've got everything going the way it's supposed to, and we can officially get started right now.
And now, broadcasting from the Wonderbolts Memorial Stadium in Canterlot City, it's PonyToast Live!
Alright, cool. We're here on PonyToast Live. I did play the intro stuff here, and we're ready to go. Everybody is actually able to hear you right now, which is cool. They were able to before. I just wanted to make sure that they could.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Alrighty.
So,
First question, Haiku, that I have for you is, where are you from?
I'm from a wonderful country called Italy, which I'm not actually able to pronounce correctly in English, apparently, considering that every time I try in my stream, everyone starts laughing at me. But yeah, it's Italy. No, it's the country where pizza is from. You might have heard of that.
Yes, yeah, it is the country where pizza is from, definitely. It is the country that at least one Bond film takes place in.
That's right.
How did you get into art? That's going to be my next question.
Basically, I've been into art ever since kindergarten because I've been basically I was not that kind of kid that would like talk too much to other people. And I'd mostly keep to myself, so obviously, being that school is incredibly boring to anyone, the only way I had to fight the kind of boredom was to basically spend all the time doodling and drawing all kinds of stuff. So I think I've literally filled entire notebooks with all kinds of silly doodles ever since I started going to school. And here's the thing, I barely ever draw at home because, you know, when I got back home, I had no reason to keep drawing because I was not bored anymore. So for a long time, I've basically just been slightly improving, but still I kept being kind of shitty at it because the only time I had to improve was when I was supposed to pay attention in class, and So basically, I barely even improved. When things started to change around like 2003 or something, that's when I really started seriously picking up drawing. And it's also coincidentally when I started having my anime phase, when I really got into Eastern animation and the Eastern drawing style kind of thing. So for a while, I've been basically doing only that kind of stuff. And that was really all I did until around 2011, really, 2011, when My Little Pony came around, and I finally got a new art style that kind of inspired me, and that's when I started drawing all this, really. So yeah, I've basically been drawing ever since I can remember. That's the short version of it.
And I've never seen anyone, or probably has happened, but I've never seen anyone actually interviewing a Rule 34 artist. How did you get into drawing erotica?
Well, it basically happens when you're kind of when you're kind of into that sort of stuff, but like, for some reason, porn just doesn't do it for you. Like, okay, here's the thing. I like this kind of, pervert stuff and whatnot, but for some reason, I never got really interested in, actual porn with people and stuff. So obviously, like everyone else, I discovered, hentai or whatever you want to call it. So it's like, it's like sex, but it's drawing. So it's, I guess, less gross, you will say it, if you're that kind of guy. It's kind of weird. So, obviously, since I was actually a lot into that kind of thing, that's basically almost everything I ever draw. Like, I'm not saying that I never draw anything else, because I've actually done a lot of safe for work stuff, especially lately. But I think it's about like 80% of what I do has always been that kind of stuff. So when I first got around to publishing what I did on the internet, it obviously was going to be mostly that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't have a particular reason except the fact that it's what I mostly, it's really basically almost all I draw.
Yeah. How did Honey Dip? How did that come to be? Was that just a passing idea, or was it a running joke?
Basically, Honey Dip is just the ponified version of my previous character. She's her name is actually Haiku Oezu, which is like, yeah, that's actually how you pronounce it, by the way, and there's a reason for that. Maybe we'll get over that later. But basically, Honey Dip is just the pony version of that character, which has been around for what, since like 2004 or something. When I first started like drawing anime characters and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm not surprised that if no one knows who she is, because there is barely any of it up on my Tumblr now. Like, if you want to see what I'm talking about, you have to go back to page like 120 or something like that. It's like way buried in the past of my Tumblr. But yeah, since I was gonna get involved in this fandom, then I say, wait, I might as well get like a persona. Pony Sono, whatever they call it, an OC, and I was like, well, I already have a character, don't I? So the next process was just to turn that character into a pony, and I think it literally took like 20 minutes or something to come up with it, considering that I already had a character in mind. Then, of course, I mean, after that, I mean, I said I might as well come up with some kind of different, somewhat different personality and background story and whatnot. So I'd say that it's a punification, but it's kind of its own character at the same time. It works kind of weird. Yeah.
I have a question for you. What is the hardest thing about drawing erotica in general?
Well, I'd say that the artist thing is not overdoing it, because when you're working with this kind of things, it's very easy to get like involved in what you really like, and then come out with a piece of work that really appeals only to you or to someone who's really in a very similar mindset as yours is. But then, like, I wouldn't say that you're doing it wrong, because there is nothing really wrong about doing that kind of thing, but you sort of come off like you're doing this for yourself in a way. So the other thing is kind of mitigate the need of doing what you want to see, and kind of stop there and think about what other people want to see. I wouldn't say that I get it like right 100% of the time, because a lot of times I'm kind of doing what I like to do, but yeah, that's something you need to keep in mind when you design it. And of course, there's always that guy, there's always that guy who like sees some kind of, Rule 34 picture and starts picking apart the anatomy. Now, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I kind of wonder why you're looking at that kind of picture if the anatomy is so important to you. So I guess what I'm trying to say, another thing is kind of get like anatomy right. You can argue that that's true for all kinds of pictures, but I found that people are like very willing to pick apart anatomy more if it's one of those kind of pictures. It's like, I mean, that has been my experience with both.
Cool. I had Pinkaminx on here, and Pinkaminx actually in the IRC chat right now asked if you could, would you turn any of your pony game concept pics into actual games?
Well, if I could, I really doubt it, because okay, here's the thing. Like, of course you're talking hypothetically, but then we gotta split in two different situations. Like, if they're gonna become real, but as some sort of fan project or stuff, then I think that wouldn't work, because I'm not really sure Hasbro will be okay with that kind of content. I mean, it's one thing, like right now I know about two big video game projects in the fandom. So the Fighting is Magic one and the Pony Card one. Now, both of them are, actually, they're kind of good. They look very good. But, like, when those will be done, I highly doubt that Hasbro will have anything to complain about them, because it's a kind of material. But when you go and see like the kind of concepts I put out, then I really don't see Hasbro being okay with that. And the second option will be, for some reason, like Hasbro was interested to actually develop something like that, and well, I really don't think they would be. I really don't think they will be doing anything like that, honestly. It's really okay. You can see you can probably see that Hasbro is still struggling to figure out how to, cater to the expanded audience for My Little Pony. Like they're not quite sure how to do this yet. Like they see that they have an audience that they did not foresaw, but they're not quite sure how to handle this yet. Like they're still awkwardly moving towards making, like with the nods to the fans on the show or whatnot. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that is Asbury ever going to make a My Little Pony game based on the Friendship is Magic generation? They're probably gonna still target it to like very young audiences. I don't see them doing anything like less quote unquote childish yet. So yeah, I don't see that working out. Not when they get so much backlash for that one thing they did.
Yeah, I don't foresee that either, honestly. Another question that I got from a listener here is, who is your favorite pony to draw Rule 34 of? That's from a Fallen Tragedy. Who is your favorite to draw Rule 34 of, and why?
Okay, this is gonna come out as a shock because many people got the impression that I don't like Rainbow Dash because of some unfortunate pictures I've made. But she would be the one. And the thing is, I don't know. I think I just like her design and personality the most. But yeah. She's also my favorite pony, by the way. I know that question is coming, so we might as well get it.
I was going to ask you that next.
Yeah, I knew that was going to come. I mean, it's actually very hard to choose, but whatever. Maybe we'll get into that later. But yeah, I will have to say Rainbow Dash because she's got... Okay, her design is okay, it looks pretty cool, but it's also pretty easy to pull off. But that is if you don't do color. That's which fortunately is what I most do. I most do black and white sketches. So the hard part in Rainbow Dash, which is doing the rainbow name correctly, doesn't really bother me. So aside for that, it's a really easy design to pull off. So that's. I guess that's my answer. My answer is Rainbow Dash because she's easy to do. There.
You also do a lot of humanized ponies. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more difficult to do humanized ponies than it is to do just ponies, or is it?
I'd say it's to me personally it's almost the same, but in general it's kind of harder to do. Humanized or hand throws because the human body is much more complex to pull off correctly. Just that I've had a lot of practice because that's what I've been doing mostly before ponies came along. But yeah, ponies can be hard to get right too, and the reason is mainly because of the legs. The legs can be really hard to pull off, especially if you get into all kinds of weird poses. Like they're not quite as easy to pull off. You really need some basic understanding of the horse anatomy, even though the show obviously doesn't follow it, strictly. And I've noticed this is also like the source of a lot of debates in the artist community. Like, is it really that much of a big deal if you get the horse's legs wrong? A lot of people seem to think it is. Well, other people are like, well, they do weird stuff in the show too, so that's sort of one of the point. Honestly, I think I sit in between the middle. I think that as long as it looks good, it doesn't really matter if it's not anatomically correct. I don't know. A lot of people will probably think I'm lazy for thinking this, but yeah.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I've tried to draw ponies, just not even Rule 34, just trying to draw ponies, and they end up looking like blobs. So
yeah, it kind of happens the first time. I mean, they're not as easy as they look like. Like okay, you see My Little Pony, you're like, well, this is easy, it's just It's just a bunch of lines. I mean, I could do it. Then you try and draw a pony, and you're like, oh well, this doesn't look good. That's literally the first time every artist starts to tackle the Friendship is Magic style. They will always take at least one day to get comfortable with the art style, because it's really, I don't know, it's very simple, but it's not that easy to pull off. Like it's hard to explain why, but you gotta get it a little into how that works. You can't just draw the pony. You gotta take a minute to just take a bunch of pictures from the show, try to decompose them, try to find the elementary shapes that make up the pony and whatnot. I mean, that's true for everything, but it's just that the very stylized artwork tricks you into believing that you're gonna be able to pull it off easily, but that's not the case. That's what I'd say about it.
Cool. I had one person message me this question. It was one I was asking you earlier, and that is whether or not you're going to be taking commissions anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. I didn't get the question. Sorry, I got distracted.
It was whether or not you're going to be able to, whether you're going to be taking commissions anytime soon, and what the prices of those are going to be if you are.
Probably yes, because I got one last soft exam out of the way, which is kind of a bitch, but hopefully when I get this, I'll basically be set for the rest of my school career. So yeah, and that SM is gonna be the 19th, so it's gonna be in 7 days, and after that is out of the way. Okay, here's two things. Like, either I pass that one, and I don't have to do another one because the school system is kind of shit, and we have a thing that it's called it's basically an interview with the professor in which you have to prove that you are able to like you really understand what you just spend months studying, but it's kind of a bitch because when you actually take the test, you can keep the book with you. So if you don't remember something, that's okay. You can look it up. But that's not true in the interview kind of thing. You got to remember everything. So the point is, if I actually pass the exam, I will have to do another one a week from then, and then I will be free. If I don't pass, well, I'll be free immediately after the 20th. So I guess around the end of this month, I will be available for commissions again, which will be the second time I've ever done them, because I've only done them once.
Cool. Do you know yet how much they're going to be yet?
Yes, I actually have a page here. I actually have a page for commissions, which is just hidden. And it's it's $5 for a sketch, $8 for a color sketch, and then I have the finished artwork, which I never actually done except once. That will be 15. Yeah, those are my rates now. It's 5 for a quote unquote detailed sketch, $8 for a color sketch, and 15 for the complete line art, coloring, and that kind of things. It's 5, 8, 15.
Cool. Here. This is another question that I got from a listener, and it is, which is harder to draw, honey dip or dragon dip?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I can because the way I work, as long as I keep doing something very often, I can pull it off pretty easily. Because a lot of work actually becomes muscle memory, and it can just pull it off. So, I'd have to say that honey dip is easier, if anything, because I've been drawing for a lot more than Dragon did, but they're kind of close. I'd say the dragon one is like a little harder to pull off. Just
which one is harder to draw, females or males?
For me, it's definitely males, but that's because I've hardly had. I don't really get much practice with those because, well, I've been drawing female characters like always. Like I'd say like around 95% of what I draw is always female characters. I've never had that much practice with males. But here's the thing. Male ponies are much easier for me to pull off because, you know, there's really little differences between the two. It's just, you know, you kind of gotta get the muzzle right, and you gotta, it's a game of proportions, really. You gotta make sure that they look, you know, bigger and sturdier, that kind of stuff. But as long as the actual process of drawing them, it's really not much different. So, but still, mares are still easier for me to pull off. So I'm definitely gonna say female.
Cool. And I'm looking for more questions here in the chat. I know that there aren't too many places where you can ask a Rule 34 artist anything. So you know, feel free to toss in here. There's a bunch of people that are asking how large your penis is. I figure I'll ask you that one. Why not?
I never measured. I'm sorry.
Never measured.
I'm sorry to say that. No, never. I'm not quite sure how it works. Like, can you just take a ruler and okay,
then
take?
Figure out where the base is, and
yeah, I mean, sorry, it's. I mean, this is not easy. I mean, you need to take into account a lot of variables. I mean, you have girth and like, okay, where do you start measuring then? You know, it's all kind of start. Like, do you have to count the head or just the shaft? You know, it's kind of hard to tell. This is hard science, folks. Hard science.
Hard science. You heard it here. Measuring your penis is hard science.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see here.
Thank God I was ready for this question. Who?
What's that?
Thank God I was ready for this question.
Oh yeah, I don't even know. I don't know why these people are asking such strange questions. Why are you doing this, people? Why are you doing this?
Because it's fun, I guess.
Oh, it is. It's so
the best reason for doing anything, really. That's all you need. It's fun.
Totally. You have a lot of connections with I know with like Kinkie Pie and a couple of the other artists on there. Who is your favorite artist?
That's a really hard question. I always get kind of. I can never pick a favorite because as long as I like something, it's almost equal to everything else I like in my book. I really have a hard time picking favorites. Like even if it's like your favorite pony or whatever, I can hardly choose. I don't know. I don't know. So my favorite artist, that is. Yeah. The thing is, I gotta admit, I don't really know that many artists because, like, when I browse for art, I usually here's usually how I find out, you know, pony art. I'm just like browsing my Tumblr dashboard, and I see a nice picture, and I click like the like button. But here's the thing. Most of the times, I can, like, there's not even a source. It's just some guy, like, posting that in his blog. Or there's, like, a source, but I can't be bothered to check it out. Or, like, the source is the guy they reblogged and some stuff like that. But here's the thing. I don't remember artists. I remember pictures more. So, like, when I'm asked for my favorite artist, I kind of start struggling to think what my favorite artist is, and I will always come up with the one I see the most, really. Except that the one I like the most. So yeah, I guess I don't really have an answer for that.
That's cool. I have someone. Actually, I had someone. I was wanting to know whether or not you would be interested in coming to BronyCon 2013 next year.
Well, of course I would, but problem is not that much if I want to go, as much as if I can go, because you know that there's a little thing in the middle called the ocean. You might have heard of it. It's kind of wet and big.
Well, I don't think anyone was asking you to swim there. Though if you did, that would be amazing. There would be people waiting in the harbor.
I'm totally doing like some kind of event and like traverse the ocean.
You have to swim there while drawing a honey dip, and then you start, you show up and you start giving out, Rule 34 to people that you drew while you were swimming across the ocean.
Yeah, while I was swimming, it just chilling there with my sketchbook.
Right.
Avoiding sharks.
Do you have any plans to maybe make it to BronyCon next year or anything like that?
I think it will be hard to do because I've seen a lot of people manage to, a lot of people who live in the United States had to get a hold of $1,000 or something in order to go there, and they were leaving the U.S. I think if I had $1,000 to spend on that, I don't think that will even cover the cost of the flight.
That's true. That's
true.
True. Hey, you could always try and start a fundraiser or something. Bring Haiku to BronyCon.
That will be. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I deserve it. Kind of. It's. I don't know. I don't think I'm worth spending that much money just to fly my ass over there.
Right.
Maybe for sometimes. Okay, here's my thing. My dad travels a lot for business trips and stuff, and they kind of let him keep his what are they called there? When you fly, you kind of, if you have the airline card, you can gather her airline miles or whatever they're called, and then you can use this point things to get free flights once you have enough.
Right.
It's sometimes since he travels a lot, every few years or so we can afford to travel for free to places like, I don't know, China or the US. So maybe if in the future, if the fandom is still alive in a year or two, I hope it is, by the way, maybe I will be able to travel to the US, and in that case, if I'm anywhere around, I'd probably go to BronyCon, wherever it is, the US.
Cool.
So
I'd be very happy to see, even though BronyCon is very PG and is trying to be very family friendly. At this past BronyCon, there were some artists that were there that were a Brave Bird, Little Miss Rainbow.
It's kind of under the table kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know if you go up to the guy and you're wearing a trench coat and a fedora and you speak really low and whispering, you can get some corn.
You walk up to him like you're in Resident Evil. What are you buying?
What are you selling?
What are you selling?
Yeah, that's how I imagine it works.
Yeah.
It's probably romanticized a little bit, but I don't care.
I actually have another question from DJ K Brony here for you. He's wanting to know whether or not when you do your work, do you sit down and do it all in one sitting, or do you do it over a large span of time in small parts?
Mostly. I actually this is somewhat of a downside of me. I'm not really able to focus on an art project for a long period of time. I've tried starting a sketch, and I was okay, I'm going to do the sketch now, and on the span of the following days, I'm gonna turn this into a finished piece of work. So I'm gonna do the line work, I'm gonna do the coloring on day 3, I'm gonna shade it and everything. I usually end up doing the sketch, and then I'm okay, that's it for today. And the following day, I'm already, like, I don't want to work on that anymore because I got so many other ideas I'd rather do. It just becomes boring. So when I do work on something that is more complex than a sketch, I usually do in one sitting. If I have to leave and go back to it, it will probably not end well.
Cool. Well, my time here is almost up. I've got time for maybe like one or two more questions here for you. Let me do this one. This is one from Befallen Tragedy. It says, "Do you think that non-American bronies are at a disadvantage?"
Well, that depends on what you consider to be a disadvantage. I mean, if it's about going to, the cons and stuff, then yes, because, it's just a matter of logistics. Displacing yourself across the globe is not as easy as, doing like a road trip or, across the nation and stuff. Even when it comes down to customs and that kind of thing, it's kind of a chore to travel, even if you do have the money. But as long as anything else is concerned, I don't think so, because, the fandom mostly lives on the internet, and the internet really doesn't, everyone is on the internet, so it's not a problem. But yeah, if it's about going to cons and, this kind of events, then yes, the disadvantage. That is, as far as anything else goes, I don't think we are. Plus, we're like, okay, in this country, I don't think anyone outside the internet, anyone who's outside the fandom even is aware that it exists.
Right.
As you know, My Little Pony is still treated like a children's show over here. And we've got this nice, dreadful that it's basically replacing anything that's good about the cartoon and changing it with just another bland children's show kind of dialogue. Like they actually change all the dialogues.
Right.
Yeah.
What is next for you? Is another good question. I mean, like, do you have any plans for things that you're wanting to do? For your Tumblr or for I think but you had said that you're going to start doing commissions again. But I mean, do you have any larger projects or anything that you're working on?
Oh, I plan on building a spaceship.
Building a spaceship.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, actually. Are you going to be going to the moon to create a brony commune with Lauren Faust?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have a nice orbital station just outside the moon.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna find that. No, well, I don't know where I'm going with this joke. I'm sorry.
Ponies all day.
Yeah, basically, we're gonna set up a satellite and we're gonna broadcast My Little Pony episodes all day. We're gonna make a satellite channel that just broadcasts My Little Pony.
Take me with you, please.
But yeah, no, I mean, I guess I don't really have much projects because the way I handle almost everything is just living by the day. Just I wake up and, well, let's find out what I'll do today. Like, I have some long-term plans, of course, but those are like the minority. I don't really like planning ahead. I just, tackle the day as it comes, see what happens. It's kind of more exciting, like, if you don't have things planned. Not that you shouldn't plan some things ahead, like,
Cool.
It's very, I mean, I'm just having fun with all this, so I don't really need plans or anything. If I do plan on anything, it's kind of improving everything because I feel like I've been kind of stationary with my art. I'm going to have to try doing more and possibly start coloring again.
Right.
Because it's like forever since I've done anything in color, really.
Cool.
But yeah, I think that's about it. I mean,
all right.
I'm planning improving eventually.
Nice. Well, before before we get off the air here, do you have anything else you want to say? Any shout-outs or anything that you want to make to people in the Brony community? Go ahead.
Oh boy, I'm terrible about this. Okay, now I'm really unprepared for this, so I don't know. I guess, okay, I guess I do have one person that I would like thank publicly, even if he will never know about this. It's basically without this guy. Let's just say that without this guy, I wouldn't even be here right now, because okay, he's not into ponies at all. He doesn't hate the show or anything, but it's not his thing. But he was the one who actually linked me the Club subreddit, which is where I actually started publishing my art. And he was the one who encouraged me to actually publish my Little Pony fan art, which I started doing around September of last year, but I never really showed anyone except my close friends. And he was the one who showed me the subreddit and encouraged me to just go for it. And that's really when it all started. Because I mean, if it had been up to me, I don't know if I'd ever start publishing all this. So yeah, I guess if I do want to thank anyone, that'd be him.
All right.
I just keep it at my friend.
Nice. That's awesome. Again, Haiku, thank you so much for being on the show. You know, I'm a big fan of your art.
Thank you for having me.
I love pony art. You know, whether it's Rule 34 or not, I love pony art. So I'm a big fan of yours. I really appreciate having you on the show. And I guess that I'll catch up with you later. So
I guess you'll get to keep your job.
What's that?
I guess you'll get to keep your job after this.
Yes, I get to keep my job. Woo! Awesome. So
I mean,
for those of you that are listening in, Haiku is able to be reached at Haiku Oezu at .tumblr.com. That is HAIKUOEZU.tumblr.com. Go there, take a look. It is not safe for work, but it's really great fan art, really great art.
Also kind.
It's wonderful. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess I'm going to go ahead and hang up with you now. So it's been great talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. You have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So that was Haiku from HaikuOezu.tumblr.com. This is PonyToast here on Celestia Radio, Ponify.me. I'm going to be getting off the air here in just a second here. Let me bring up your stuff here. If you want to get a hold of me, you can contact me by email at ponytoast@gmail.com. I'm sorry, at theponytoast@gmail.com. Twitter at TrueEquestria. Tumblr at ponytoast.tumblr.com. Blog Talk Radio at blogtalkradio.com/DJZan. Pony Square at ponysquare.com/profile-2143. Facebook at facebook.com/TheRealPonyToast, SoundCloud at SoundCloud.com/PonyToast, DeviantArt at PhDrillSergeant.DeviantArt.com, and on Steam at PonyToast. So, thank you so much. This has been Haiku on Celestia Radio, Ponify.me, PonyToast Live. Make sure to follow Haiku on Tumblr and such. Thank you so much for listening in. This recording will be available on Celestia Radio's YouTube, hopefully by the end of the day. So keep an eye out for that. For Celestia Radio, Bonafide.me, this is PonyToast on PonyToast Live. Please allow me to play you out.